Hey guys, and welcome to today's video, which as you can tell by the title, is going to be an updated morning routine. Within the past few weeks, we've made some changes to the boys' morning routine, and so in today's video, I'll be sharing those changes with you guys. Our mornings still begin anywhere between 6 and 7 a.m. Some mornings it's on the earlier side and sometimes on the later, but I try not to go into the boys' room until 6:30 the earliest. After going in the boys' room and waking them up, I will turn their sound machine off and their lights on, which it usually takes them a few minutes to get their eyes to adjust, but once they do, it's then time for me to say my good mornings. On this morning, Jack was not feeling his best. He seemed to be a little bit under the weather. After saying good morning to the boys, I usually give them their blankies and their stuffed elephant animal that we call Mr. Trunk. And after doing so, I head downstairs to make the boys' bottles. And so as you can see on this morning, it was around 6:30 in the morning that I went ahead and began to make their bottles. And I do so by warming up a pot of water to warm the bottles in. The boys take an 8-ounce bottle of the liquid Nutramigen in the morning, so here I am preparing the bottles, and then once the pot comes to a boil, I take it off the burner and stick the bottles in for about 10 minutes. While the bottles are warming up, I will head back upstairs and take the first baby out of his sleep sack so that I can get going on changing his diaper. As mentioned, Jack woke up not feeling his best and he did have some boogers on his face, so I had to go ahead and clean those off, which he was not very happy about. After doing that, I then went ahead and started to change his diaper. And then after that, I did take on the task of cleaning out his nose, which again, he was not very excited for. But the products that I used to do this are just some saline drops and then the Nose Frida from Frida Baby. Once the first baby has his diaper changed, I will place him on the floor to either play with the sound machine or a book or a toy, and then I will take the second baby and take him out of his sleep sack and go ahead and change his diaper. At this point, the bottles are done warming up, and so Harris will go ahead and grab those for me and bring them upstairs, and then we will place the boys on their twinsy nursing pillow, which I use to also feed them their bottles. And as of recently, the boys are holding their own bottles, which definitely makes the feeding process a lot easier. the boys are extremely mobile now, we can no longer lay with them in the bed since they usually just try and crawl off the end of it. So once they are done drinking their bottles, we bring them right downstairs to begin playing with their toys. Here I am just picking through to grab a few toys to lay out on the floor for the boys to play with, and we also give them a bunch of blankets to lay with since they love blankets. We have recently opened up the side of their playpen so that they have more space to crawl around and be active, and so in the mornings they get free range of the living room to lay and roll and play and climb. As you can see, Benny loves to climb up on his seat. Boys are happy and playing, I will go ahead and have my breakfast for the day, which is usually just a bowl of cereal. After some time of playing, it is then time for Harris to head off to work, so he will go upstairs and get ready and then come back down and say his goodbyes. On this morning, he did put some socks on Benny since it was a little chilly in our house. But then after this, he headed off to work and I began to get the boys' breakfast ready. And so I usually prepare enough breakfast for a few days at a time. So earlier on in the week, I made the boys their 2-ingredient pancakes, which is basically just bananas and eggs. And I also made some baked cinnamon apples for them. Once their breakfast is done warming up, I then cut everything into bite-sized pieces for the boys to be able to handle. They absolutely love these baked apples. I highly recommend making them for your baby or toddler. They are extremely easy. And just like that, the boys devour their entire breakfast, and after this, it is time to give them their vitamins, which oddly enough, they absolutely love. I think it's the sweet fruity flavor of them, but they get 1 milliliter of their vitamins every morning. After everything is cleaned up and the boys are cleaned off, we head back into the living room, and it's usually this time that I will lay on the floor with them so we can unwind and relax before their first nap of the day. So about 3 hours after they wake up in the morning, they will go down for their first nap. Before doing so, they get one more diaper change so that they have a nice clean diaper before bed. And then both boys get back in their sleep sacks, get in their cribs, and they are off for their first nap. So I hope you guys enjoyed this updated morning routine now that the boys are 10 months and we have made some changes to it. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you head on down there and do that. I appreciate that always.